all of you here. And namaskar. Would you like to have this presentation in English or Kinglish or in Kannada? English. Okay. Kinglish or English? English. Okay. Fine. Okay. I will make this presentation in English because all of us know this language, and without any disrespect to the local language here, with due respect to the local language, I will run this presentation in English because it's a common language. We are dead sure that everybody knows the language, but I'm not so sure about Kannada. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರು ಬರೀಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. So to avoid any inconvenience to such people and so that it benefits all, we will have this in English. So welcome all of you. And I thank the Bangalore branch for giving me this opportunity. I am CA Prasanna Shenoy, and I have come all the way from Bangalore to deliver this particular session. We have just 1 hour now, 12 o'clock to 1. I will run through the presentations and we'll keep it as interactive as possible. What is the lunch time, by the way? 1:30. 1:30. Oh, okay. Then it is 1.5 hours. Are you all okay?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if it is because of some special love which the chairman has for me, because we are classmates despite our age gap. You saw the chairman, right? Manjunath and Nanu classmates in a certificate program for UAE corporate tax. So that is the love I have from members here in Bangalore. So probably that is the reason why he invited me here also. And not only that, 2 session ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. I don't know if it is because of this love or by overestimating my capacity. Because one session before lunch and another session immediately after lunch. ಎರಡೂ ಕಷ್ಟನೇ. Anyway, if you are interactive, I think it will be fun for both of us. Don't worry, this is not going to be about sections and reading what is already there. This is only a presentation of my version about what is cooperative audit. So let me start. As it was said in the introduction, my introduction, I was an investment banker till the age of 47, and at 47 I decided to get into practice. So I've been in practice since then, and I want you to guess the age and then decide how many years I've been in practice. I'm 62 now. Let the secret out. So, cooperative audit has formed a significant part of my learning journey. Cooperative audits. It has had its ups and it has had its downs also. But nevertheless, it was a great learning experience. So, 2013, empanelment I took. So I was very happy to get a list of 20 cooperative societies. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೊಟೇಶನ್ ಕೊಡಿ. ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಫಾರ್ ಮಿ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೊಸೈಟೀಸ್ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೊಟೇಶನ್ ಕಳಿಸಿ, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಸೆಂಡ್ ಯುವರ್ ಕೊಟೇಶನ್. ಓಕೆ, ನನ್ನ ಆಡಿಟರ್ ಸೆಂಡ್ ಅ ಕೊಟೇಶನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಕಾಂಪೀಟ್ ವಿತ್ another 5-6 other people. I mean, that was the scheme in the beginning. And then the societies used to shortlist or appoint auditors. So that was a shock for me. And that, my dear friends, is what led me to this session today. Because cooperative audit is not a financial audit. It is not just a financial audit. It is a propriety audit. It is a propriety audit, my dear friends. So before we assume this role, it is very important to have this in the top of our mind, that it is propriety. Balance sheet tally ಆದರೆ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತಲ್ಲ. It may be right in form, but in substance if it is wrong, it is not right. It does not pass the propriety test. Operation successful, but patient is dead. ಆ ಥರ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು ಇದು audit. That is propriety audit in a nutshell. Now we move into the presentation. So, even though it appears simple, because we are used to all guidance notes, Ind AS, company law, and various other statutes under which we audit, including global standards. What do we have for cooperative audits? By the way, how many of you are into cooperative audits? Can you raise your hands, please? That will help me to customize. Thank you so much. So, which means most of you are interested to get into cooperative audits, right? Yes or no? Yes. Oh, good. So, it's a wonderful field to be in, my dear friends. It has, and I have benefited from it, and so can all of you. But how can we do that is what I am going to share with you by following our not only professional ethics or personal ethics too. So this is not about corporate audits, this is about cooperative audits. So this session is going to be an experience sharing exercise more than anything else. Are you fine with that? Or if you are not fine with that, then I can open the Karnataka State Cooperative Societies Act and start with section 63, 64, 190 and so on and so forth. What would you like to have? Okay, fine. But it will be relevant because I believe that it is not hard work, it is smart work which will do good for us and for our clients, and that is what we learned in the morning session from Varun. Cooperative audit, if you have seen, usually earlier before 2013 it was the exclusive domain of the Department of Cooperative Audit, and it was outsourced, not exactly outsourced, they brought in chartered accountants to do this audit from 2013. So there is always a comparison made by the department between the audit done by their own colleagues and by our chartered accountants. And the usual judgment is that our department people do it thoroughly. Chartered accountants, the quality should improve. And the reason, my dear friends, I felt, because even there were comments made about me also when I started, because I also did not know, because I was doing only a financial audit. Varun showed us how we have to check certain critical areas and even smartly through Excel. That the department does not do. Those auditors will check each and every voucher. We are also supposed to do that. And why we have to do, I will tell you in the afternoon session. Because it is the Act which says that. So the Act casts upon the auditor so much of responsibility that we might think sample checking of vouchers is enough. Don't we do that? When there are 10,000 vouchers in a corporate or even an individual or a partnership entity, do we vouch all of them? Nowadays we don't even do that. We do data analytics. Big data and data analytics. But here, each and every voucher has to be signed by that you are verified. And I used to think, what kind of, I don't want to use any bad words, what kind of people are they? Why are they expecting this? But then when I read the law, there it is. I will show it to you. Because we have not read the law before we get into this practice. That exercise we do later. So, how to empower a chartered accountant to make him feel that yes, he is a tiger. We'll do that after lunch. But what are the opportunities that are there in this place and how best we can add value? Because I'm coming from an investment banking background myself. So I believe whatever we do, we should give a return on the investment people make in us. So when they pay audit fee, it is not just for the signature. There should be something more. And that something more is not just doing a policeman's job. It is to help build the organization. So, let's begin. So, this is the structure, opening and foundation. Number 2, core framework and methodology. Advanced engagements and how to avoid them. Because advanced engagement is, generally we think, these are value-added services which we can give, but these are not so pleasant things to do, like special audits and pre-audits. And implementation and business opportunity. I will share the business opportunity. And the call to action. And then, if time permits, a Q&A session. Otherwise, we'll have a combined Q&A session post-lunch. Is that fine? Does this look like a corporate presentation and not a cooperative presentation? Yes or no? Okay. I hope the person speaking also is, if not as good as this, at least lives up to 60-70% of your expectation. But one thing I am not worried about, one thing that gives me comfort is that there are not many people who know about cooperative audits. Most of you want to get into it. So that gives me a lot of relief. Okay. Can you see read the alphabets? Last row? You cannot. Okay, in that case I'll have to read it. So, the promise that we give to a cooperative society by assuming the role of an auditor as a person who will do propriety audit and not just a financial audit can be met if we understand that cooperative audit is a propriety audit and it is different from compliance burden to develop. And this way we can develop a good partnership with these institutions, even though the engagements can be only for 2 years 2 years in a row. But still, even in those 2 years, you can do wonders for the institutions. I can give you an example. I'll even name the institution. There was a Packard Bank, primary cooperative agricultural rural development bank in Sringeri. Packard banks are the nodal agencies for agricultural development and rural development, and they used to, in the earlier days it was called land development banks, and they used to disburse long-term loans for acquiring land and development and all that, agricultural land, not real estate. So, this institution was deep in debt. NPAs were about 75%. Not because the members were poor or there was a drought. It was because everybody was waiting for the government's waiver of interest or waiver of loans, which was coming year after year, because every succeeding government would like to outperform the other by way of giving largesse. So, money was there but the intent was not there, and even if the intent was there, the politicians were not there. ಯಾಕೆ ಕಟ್ತೀರಿ ವೈವಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Today, my dear friend, and it was having a loss, it was having annual loss of lakhs of rupees. Imagine this kind of an NPA. Friends, today, the same institution has a very sound balance sheet, excellent business practices, and 100% recovery rate. And when an institution is doing good and thriving, who will benefit? Who will benefit? Members, right? So that is our objective, my dear friends. Purpose of audit is not just to check the accounts, it is to look after the welfare of the members. So here I would like to share the seven cooperative principles. Are you aware about the 7 global cooperative principles? So before we get into cooperative audits or anything to do with cooperative, we should, you see this? Oh, okay, it's not coming. Okay, I'll just read it out from here. The 7 cooperative principles which are globally followed are voluntary and open membership, democratic member control. Unlike a corporate where your share, your voting share will be determined by your shareholding. Here, even if you hold 10 times the number of shares that your other member owns, you will still be entitled to only one vote. So it is democracy. And members' economic participation, and these members will participate, and in fact the bylaws and the law stipulates that they should be actively participating. In fact, that was one of the action items which one spoke about in the morning. And autonomy and independence needs no explanation. Education, training and information. Cooperative education, training and information. Because this is a beautiful moment. I come from, last 10 years I'm in South Canada, and that is a hotbed for cooperatives. And there are institutions which have lived and still and succeeded over in more than 100 years. So I learned a lot from them. So, and the movement insists, one of the principles is to propagate education, training and information. So it is so important that sometimes in the audit report, for the benefit of those who are doing the audit as well as who are getting into this audit, there is a stipulation in section 58, I think section 58, yeah, before no cooperative society can distribute dividend unless it makes a contribution of minimum 25% to the reserve fund, of the profits to reserve fund and so on and so forth. And there is one requirement which says that they have to contribute to the education fund. Education fund is the cooperative education fund which they have to pay to the central cooperative education institution. They have to send a check. And the amounts for some of the societies will be very, very, very minuscule. Maybe 2,346 rupees. As a financial auditor, what I will think, 2,346. That fellow will give a story, he will say, see, I made the check but nobody collected. So many things they say. But if that amount was not paid and you declare dividend, then both of us will be in the suit. If I have not reported it. In financial audit, we'll just simply report, okay, it was not paid, and okay, it is outstanding, can be paid later. Unless it is a MSME payment and things things like that. Not in corporate, I'm talking about other sectors. But here, 2,346 rupees if you have not paid, it is serious. And if you have declared dividend, it's a one case. If you have not declared dividend, it's okay. Then you pay and then declare dividend and distribute the dividend. So, these minute things are very important, my dear friends. And why is this so important? Why do you think it was made so important? Because it is proprietary audit. Why it is proprietary audit? This particular transaction, because that is the fifth cooperative principle of education, training and information. It is brought into the Act, right, section 58. Are you in sync with my thoughts?
Yes.
Okay. So this is not a prepared presentation, so it's going to be extempore. So next is cooperation among cooperatives. So the whole spirit, it is in the spirit of cooperation. So, of the people, by the people, for the people. The institutions are of the people, by the people, for the people. So whatever we do, it is for those people. And to promote cooperation among themselves. And concern, seventh point is concern for community. There is a social, this is, in corporates we only have 2% which we have to share for CSR, right? Here, the institution itself is for community development. PACS, we are talking about the PACS audit, right? A PACS is for a village. Now, that PACS is responsible for the community in that village and not just these members. It is for the overall development of the community. And so also with other cooperative societies, be it house building cooperative society and so on and so forth, many times. So friends, are we clear about the cooperative principles? Because most of the time what happens is, I will take myself as an example. After making mistakes, I realized why I am doing all this. Why people are finding fault with me. I went to basics. And again, I went to basics because I practice, my main practice is in tax litigation, arbitration and insolvency resolution and corporate consulting. So, in that landmark judgment of Citizen Cooperative Society, there was a comment made on the cooperative principles. That is when I realized, there is some cooperative principle, let me find out. And that is where I found this out. So, if there is any breach of any of the cooperative principles, it hits at the root of a cooperative society. So, friends, that should be our mindset. Okay. Now, we will understand this with, we'll have a 5-point approach. We will try to understand why cooperative audit is fundamentally different, which is what I explained now. Then, I will also share with you to master the 5-dimension framework which I applied for myself. You can have your own framework to do that, which is beyond financial audit. Financial audit I am not going to talk at all. Actually, really speaking, I am not good in audits. So that is why I practice in consulting areas. So this cooperative audit somehow I stumbled into it because it was the beginning. I was a beginner at that time. And this really came to my rescue. It helped me to get the bread and butter at home. So for those who want to get into this practice, it's a fantastic area to be in, my dear friends. But difficult, no doubt. But if we are able to work smartly and honestly, I don't think there can be any challenge to that. Okay, now, Then we'll try to learn the scientific classification system for objective assessment. See, what I have tried to do is based on my experiences with corporate. I have applied those tools in our cooperative audits and we have seen the result. The example I gave you was Shingeri Packard Bank. There is another society, I don't want to name it. When I started their audit in 14-15, they had 2 branches in Mangalore. Today, they have 34 branches, almost like a GCC bank. And it came to a stage where I am no longer an auditor of that institution because I cannot build, they can build infrastructure, but I was unable to build infrastructure to support their growth beyond this. Even this growth itself, I felt my quality was suffering, I walked out. They were not happy when I said I don't want to continue. So they still treat me as a mentor. So that is propriety, the social commitment that we have. So the classification system and how to avoid these special audits, investigations, fraud investigations and re-audits. Friends, whoever might have committed the crime, if the chartered accountant has given his certificate and based on that certificate, there is evidence of that certificate that that crime has happened and chartered accountant has not made the money, take the case of GST, fake GST cases. So the media likes to project whose name? The fraudster's name. Let us say ABC company has committed this fraud. Or Satyam Computers. Okay, it's a published case, so I can name it in this open forum. Did they talk more about Ramling Raju or somebody in Price Waterhouse? It was always about Price Waterhouse. So, even here, my dear friends, if a voucher is missing after 5 years and there is some dispute, dispute within the society because every 5 years the management changes. So if it is a very cordial or an accepted change of management, then things will run smoothly. But if it is like the Congress party is replaced by BJP, okay, for the public there is no difference, they get the same service. But at least in the optics, there will be fault finding. So you would have done your audit thoroughly, but some voucher you have not initiated. And as luck would have it or bad luck would have it, this fellow, it is some expenditure made by this secretary of the institution saying that he has gone to Bangalore to attend court. And actually what he has done is he has come here on a weekend, on Saturday, and returned on Sunday night. Can anybody attend a court on Sunday? It is obvious. So you have checked. So the name will be yours, along with you. And somebody will fix the accountability and you will be accountable. So you have to be very careful. When you are doing cooperative audit, understand and then do it. I am not trying to frighten you. Know the responsibility and then assume it. So, if we don't do that, then it will lead to re-audit. They can even go back several years. The new management will come and naturally, if there is if it is very hostile, then they will say, okay, I want all the last 5 years thing to be investigated. Like how they say judicial probe, SIT probe and so on. But politicians will never get caught. So, and the ultimate objective of my being here is to share about how to build a specialized and a profitable practice in cooperative auditing. It is not so bad. And why and how we can make a difference by adding value. And we can make a difference by meeting their expectations. And what is this expectation? Provide. I'll explain the current state versus the massive potential here. See, 60% of the cooperative audits are mechanical compliance exercises. 60%. Usually 60% of the work that is happening today is mechanical. And if you are the auditor for the next year, in many cases it is cut and paste, not even cut and paste. Last year's Word file you will take and you will only change the numbers. The audit reports are very exhaustive, my dear friends. And for your kind information is to be made in Kannada. So you will have to have a partner with you, or you should have an arrangement in your office to get the report done, or your report to be translated into Kannada for undertaking this work. You can still do it.
If we add one more thing,
yes.
notice you can also add ChatGPT in the picture. Just upload the report and ask it for
Now it is even easier. Yeah? So, and it is error free, provided it is not hallucinated. So things have become so easy. So 60% is mechanical, and only 25% of the recommendations get implemented. See, morning it was discussed about what recommendations we are to give, how to point out the errors, and don't avoid reporting things so that your client is happy. See, the worst part here is there is a fine balance about independence in this audit. Sometimes I have a doubt. Most of the time I have a doubt. Can I be really independent when I am doing this audit? Because you are appointed by the same management and you are reporting against them. And next year's appointment depends upon this year's report. So friends, that is the way the law works. But I have found it is possible. Because there are many cooperatives which have been established and have progressed with noble intent. Just to give you an example, Amul is a cooperative. It's a amalgam of cooperatives. How it has grown. And it was built, of course, internally there can be many things, between this management and whatever, directors or whatever. But it is a movement. And that movement has made sure that the foreign companies or conglomerates cannot compete with them. They have built them, they have made themselves so strong that even the global companies are taking their time to get into India. They are not able to get the same foothold as Amul. And why go so far away? We have our Nandini diaries here. If you look at that movement, okay, politics apart, the way it works and still sustains is because of these cooperative principles and the Act. It might look silly for us because most of the things are manually followed now, except for the accounts. They have manual records and age-old systems and registers and books and all that. And for people who are used to ChatGPT and artificial intelligence and cloud and softwares and whatnot, this looks very primitive. But that primitiveness has helped them to come to this level and to grow even further. So there is some magic in it. The act itself, if you read the act and the intent behind each provision in the act, you will know what is the intent. The intent is to build institution. So, it is possible to be ethical and to also hold hands for them and help them grow. And you are not helping any individual. It is a movement that you are helping. That is the mindset, my dear friends. So, but today, what is happening? Only 25% of the recommendations get implemented. Naturally so, because if 60% of the cooperative audits are mechanical compliances, naturally, whatever you say, I mean, if I am in that 60%, if I say something, my recommendation also will be treated mechanically. Not so serious. It's like my children, if I give them some advice, it will never be followed. They'll just do the opposite. And I like them for that. They are very independent now. But at the same time, there are about 5,000-6,000 students of mine in my GMCS program in SARC. Some of them call me during campus interview. Every round, sir, this question. Sir, I have these 3 job offers. What should I do? Here I could not, I have tried. I could not forget about convincing. I could not motivate my children to become chartered accountants. So, daughter is a counseling psychologist, son is a investment banker and a portfolio manager. So, I am alone. Mine is a solo practice. So, that's why I have restricted myself to consulting practice. I can depend on my own strength. Yes, sorry. So, friends, 25% of the recommendations are implemented. If 100% is implemented, imagine what can happen to these institutions, isn't it? Forget about 100%. From 25% it becomes 50%. There will be 100% improvement from where you are today. So, if you want the recommendations to be heard, don't mechanically audit. Now, member satisfaction with the audit process. For the members who are already auditing, who are already in this practice, I want a honest answer. Are you happy? Are you satisfied with what you are doing? I am not. No? Are we? Are your clients satisfied with you? Okay, that's a very tough question, right? I said I want an honest answer. Otherwise this will be like the recommendations. So, clients are not happy. Even this particular society I told you, which grew from 2 to 34, he was telling, sir, all vouchers have to be checked, sir. We have done it. Something silly has happened somewhere. Sir, your people did not check, sir. What was your manager doing? And I recommended to them, I told them, see, we have a limitation. We will check. But it is not advisable to check after the year. You should have concurrent audit. Or internally you have an inspection team. And let them do surprise checks. That will add to our value. He is not willing to do that. He says, then what are auditors for? And he has grown from 2 to 34. So, of course, they are respectful and we have mutual respect to each other. But bottom line is, when something happens, then it is not me, it is you, or it is him, or it is somebody, and finally if they don't find anybody, it is the auditor. So, member satisfaction is only 40%. I've seen in my clients, member satisfaction is 40%. They feel no, auditors are not doing their job. And if you talk to the department, has anybody interacted with the cooperative audit department here? Anybody can you share your experience, sir? Not good, right? In 2 words, Arina. I think you said it all. Of course, I am not talking about the practices. I don't want to use the prefix to that, but I am not talking about that. I am not talking about their intent or the motive or motivation for whatever they look for when they are talking to you. But still, they say, CA audits ಸರಿಯಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು, yes, but there were the practices which I was just now telling you, because the government auditor would go there for 1 hour, 2 hours, and then, and as Varun rightly said, probably that secretary was used to servicing those government auditors, having breakfast for 2 hours, lunch for 2 hours, and maybe evening tea for another 3 hours, and as a part-time, they will also do audit. Because earlier, in the olden days, there used to be an ad of Tata Steel, beautiful ad, when Vasimali was there, and it was about their CSR and the branding. They were branding Tata Steel at that time. So they showed all the good things they are doing in the community. So you are wondering, what is this? So many things. Tata Steel is behind it, without saying it. And then in the end, they used to say, we also make steel. Beautiful act. So here, that is what generally happens. 15 days, 20 days, 25 days, they used to take to do the audit. Am I right, Varun? But most of the time it was other activities. But still, the feeling is in the government, in the department, chartered accountants are not right. And we are also contributing to it. I am not saying they are fully wrong. Part of the reason I already told you. So, if can an opposition party leader praise the chief minister? Can he or can he not? Same thing here. We are like chief minister and cooperative as the opposition leaders. So we cannot praise each other. That is one of the reasons. But we are contributing to it, because when they say, sometimes we have to bow down. And we have to bow down because when we do this audit, we don't read the act. And we think we are used to financial audit, and we follow the same rules here. And that is wrong, according to them and according to the act. So what is wrong, my dear friends. So, read the act, and it is in English. The act is actually in English. You can read and follow. So, now talking about opportunities. There are 15,000 plus societies in Karnataka. And the member funds exceed 50,000 crores. Imagine the size of this opportunity. And every society has to be audited under section 63 of that. 15,000 opportunities. So even if each one of us do 2 audits, it will help 7,500 chartered accountants. I don't know how many practicing CAs are there in the state of Karnataka. They can benefit from it. And one cannot do more than 3 or 4 if you are doing it seriously. But the sad part of it is, there are people who are doing 10, 15, 20, and I've heard about somebody doing 60 hours. No wonder when they say, CA audit sarilla, you have to go down. Now, if we follow this correctly, and all we need to do is follow the hand and follow the heart. Be ethical. This enhanced approach will achieve 80%. Even if you are, see, our job is very simple. Make sure that from 25% of the recommendation, the implementation of recommendation, take it up to 80%. The job is done because you cannot get 100% implementation. There will be some practical difficulties or intent. If you take it up, I'm sure institutions can. Who will gain? The institution will gain, members will gain, the whole movement will gain, and it will build institutions which can compete with the multinationals. Camco in Puttur, it's not there in the slide, is a standing example, my dear friends. Have you heard about a society called Camco Society? Camco Society is into chocolate manufacturing. Of course, it's primarily an Aracanate producers society, and it works even better than Cadbury's. You should try their chocolates. Being a cooperative, maybe they don't know how to propagate their brand, but they are doing well. Amul, anyway, is a good example. I'm sure there would be many other such cooperatives. I'm yet to, my exposure is very limited, so I'm able to narrate these examples to you. But Camco is big. I have been there in Mangalore. So, if such institutions could be built from 25% recommendation implementation, if you take it up to 80%, you can build many more institutions like this. Even look at the district central cooperative banks, not the politics side. Actually, really speaking, my dear friends, even this has done good for politics also. Because these institutions have created our future leaders in politics. The Home Minister of today, the Minister of Cooperation today, in the central government, the one and only Amit Shah. I'm not sure if I'm a fan or otherwise of his, but the fact of the matter is he started from cooperative movement. Look at his, I don't know if his biography is there, but you can find out in Google about his association in the cooperative movement. He started from there. He became a leader there, and from there he grew and then got into politics, and then he came up the ranks, and today he is where he is. Why so far? Our own past Chief Minister, Sadanand Gowda, he started from a PACS in a small village, PACS or MPCS, I don't know. Milk Producer Society, I think. Milk Producer Society, which is even smaller, to raise to the level of Chief Minister. So that is education, training and development. This movement helps people to achieve that. So can we not be a part of this? Should we not help the institution to build leaders like that and do something good? We have a role and we can play that. So if member satisfaction jumps from 40% to 85% with the proper audit methodology and its implementation, institutions can be improved. Now, if we are doing good stuff, why do you think people pay audit fee? Is it a good example? No. Okay, fine. See, I have seen some institutions which have grown over a period of time, from a small enterprise to medium enterprise, and then medium to a little big, and then that is when the VC comes in. And once the VC comes in, there are innumerable instances. I am talking about corporates, not cooperatives. And one fine morning, a venture capitalist, not VC, a PE invests, and that PE happens to be a global PE. And you are the auditor. Will you continue to be the auditor next year? Yeah, this is a question and answer session now. 2 minutes. Honest answer.
Never.
Never, isn't it? That's the right answer. Never. So, why is that so? We may think, oh, it's just the brand, the name. The Big Four, that name is there in the balance sheet, then it will take them places. I would have also done the same thing. But I look at it from a different angle, my dear friends. I agree with you. I am also part of it. But if you really look at it, I am going to a Big Four and paying them maybe 50 times or 100 times of what I was paying my previous auditor, and happily paying without tripping because of the brand. And how are brands built? How do we create a brand?
Cooperative.
Yes?
Cooperative.
Not in cooperative, sir. In general, I am asking.
Consumption.
Huh? Yes, please. Louder, please.
Advertisement.
Advertisement. Okay, if I advertise and say Prasanna Shenoy is the best auditor or GST litigation counsel in the whole world, will I establish my brand?
Looking about a basic track record.
Yeah. Branding, advertising is required. I mean, without visibility, nobody will even know you. But that has to be supported by some stuff which you have. Otherwise, you'll be like a politician who has inherited a party because of being from a particular family. I'm not getting into politics, but I'm giving examples, my dear friends. I feel all political parties are bad, so I have the liberty to talk about them without naming them. So, if I build a brand like that, or tomorrow I say, my son is very lazy, let us say, assume it's not so. And I say that he is the greatest leader and he is inheriting me. And I am at the zenith of my practice. Will anybody accept? They will not. The brand will fail. Which means these Big Fours have something with them. Which makes them acceptable not only to, first to the private equities. They feel if Big Four has done this audit, they would have done it well. They have global practices and so on. That is the thinking. So, and they also take advantage of that. We can do a better job. But even here, friends, why I am saying that here is, if instead of being a mechanical cooperative auditors, if we are able to add value to our audit, by doing our audit well and going beyond the call of our duty, which is finance, and beyond the finance is propriety. Don't you think we can add value? So, the relationship will be there, and the fee for larger societies, my dear friends, is not very, very less. The responsibilities are huge, but it is commensurate with the work that we do in cooperatives. The fee works out to lakhs of rupees, but there are some unhealthy practices being followed, undercutting and whatever, which not only affects our profession, these are unethical practices, but also affects the independence of the auditor, and if independence is compromised, everything is compromised. And how can you be an auditor at all if your independence is compromised? So, ethics is important. I may not get 20 assignments, but one or two that I get, if I am able to turn them around or help them grow big, because this movement is set to grow. If you ensure that the foundation is strong, then you can build an edifice. That is the role of an auditor here. That is the role. That is why, when I'm saying beyond the financial audit, we have to look at all these things. It will include what you have to observe. It is all there. See, you don't have to look anywhere else to do your job well. The audit report itself is good enough. But as Varun explained in the morning, we will simply say yes, no or not applicable. Haudu, illa, anvayisudilla in most of the calls. But instead of haudu, illa, anvayisudilla, if we apply our head and comment, which means we would have observed. We have examined. We have examined and then observed. That is a proper audit. That is propriety audit. And at the same time, my dear friends, if you don't do it, the accounts can be reopened, not reopened, re-audited. And if a fraud happens during your tenure of audit, and it comes to light later or even at that time, and you are found to be negligent, it can lead to professional misconduct too. So, following the audit report religiously with an application of mind and a reading of the Cooperative Act is very important. That's all. See, I don't have to explain about financial audit or whatever. System audit, even I got educated today. Thanks, Varun. Otherwise, everything is there. It is like a Q&A there. Keep the act with you and do this. That's all right. There is an audit manual which sometimes looks very silly. It says you have to vouch. You have to verify each voucher. Why the hell should I do this? I might think, but no, you have to do it. Okay. So, if you are able to build an institution, my dear friends, their working capital will grow. And working capital is the base for calculating your fees. So, if your institution is having a working capital of 1 crore and it grows to 50 crores, what will happen to your revenue? Of course, it's only for 2 years, and if they like you, they might retain you after somebody else has been there for 2 years. But there's a rotation. So, this is value addition to you also. What is in it for me? I am doing so much, what will I gain? Now that society where the number of branches grew from 2 to 34, so it grew 17 times. And if I continue, my revenue would have been 17 times of the first times. Audit fee. I can grow. I did my articles way back, partly in Delhi and the second part in Bombay. Initially it was Luthra, which is now a law firm. And the second part, 1.5 years, I did with Chaturvedi and Shah. And Chaturvedi and Shah, even today, they are identified with Reliance. They have been the auditors from then. And when I was doing my articleship in the 80s, when I used to say, when people used to ask, where are you doing your articles? In the institute and among friends and all. I used to say, Chaturvedi and Shah. Oh, Reliance auditors. So you will be recognized like that. Can we not strive to achieve that? We can. Now, what is the framework? Letters are too small. Yeah. Any questions in the meantime, or any concerns you want to address, or would you like me to speed up? Or you want me to talk about anything specific? As I told you, this is an impromptu presentation. The slides are only to give me a direction. So I might skip some, I might deviate completely also. I am ready for that.
So he was taking up the audit, one thing is essential.
Yes, sir.
Branches outside this country.
I didn't hear you.
Like registered in the Karnataka.
Yes.
They have offices also other societies branches outside Karnataka.
Yeah, there are multi-state cooperative societies. If it is registered under the Multi-State Cooperative Societies Act, then that is possible. But it is not registered under the Karnataka Cooperative Societies Act. Cooperative Societies Act. हर स्टेट के लिए अलग Cooperatives Act है. And in the state of Karnataka, there are two acts for cooperatives. One is Cooperative Societies Act 1959 and Karnataka Sauhada Cooperative Act. And again, even in income tax, there was this distinction was made to disallow.
One is a union act, one is a state act.
I don't know if it is, but yeah, might be, yeah, because when it is multiple states, then naturally it might be in the concurrent list of the constitution. So, yeah. Any other question? Yes, sir, you are saying something.
One observation, before we take up anything audit, the government board has know your management.
Yes.
Then take up the audit.
Yes, okay, good. So, your good name, sir? Arun. Yeah, Arun rightly pointed out. See, it is the leadership which matters. It is the leadership which matters because leadership gives the vision, mission, sets the goals, and supervises the functions. So, if the leadership is good, you can audit comfortably. Your confidence level will go a little more. So, it is very important in cooperative audit to know your management also. Not also, mainly. I have seen in some societies, the secretary is everything there, but the management keeps coming and going every 5 years. So that fellow is there for 20-25 years, and it is almost like he is the owner of that place. And they are doing a good job, and most of them do a good job. But then, in such a society, the management, he is not reporting to the management is reporting to him. So you should understand all these dynamics. This is propriety, my dear friends. Can you do this in financial audit? Financial audit will look at the form, not the substance. Here we are looking at the substance. Am I right, sir? Yes. So, what are the key differences? I am summing up. In the case of companies, they seek returns because more EPS means higher market value to the shareholder, stakeholder. Whereas here, the members need services. They are not putting their money into capital for getting dividend. Dividend is a byproduct. But what they are doing is they are putting the money and other resources together and generating returns out of it and distributing among themselves. But as a result, they are creating a facility for their self-help. Self-help is one of the most important objectives in a cooperative society. So that is the reason why people are getting together. Otherwise, if I pay, in a company, if I invest 1 crore of rupees, face value 10 rupees share, I will have 10 lakh shares. And the voting right will be for 10 lakh shares. Whereas if I have 1 crore capital in a cooperative society, my voting share will be only 1. Others can outnumber me. It is democracy here. And still, why am I investing? Of course, I will get some dividend, but it is service to community, the 7th principle. That is why people come together. So, first of all, please understand, cooperative is a different animal. Yes, next. Therefore, in companies it is profit maximization versus member welfare and community development in cooperatives. I already said that. Then, in companies, the main focus is on annual compliance. In financial audit, corporate audits, of course now the responsibilities of the auditors are growing day by day. So we have to look at many more things beyond pure financial audit. But nevertheless, the focus is on annual compliances. Whereas in cooperatives, it is institutional strengthening focus. Here, the purpose of audit is to strengthen the institution. The institution is going to be there forever. Puttur Town Cooperative Bank. It works beautifully. Close to 100 years or more than 100 years in Puttur, the Puttur town in South Kannada district. And till today, very cordial atmosphere and very high rating. Very high rating in cooperative audits. See, even about rating, my dear friends, you don't have to create your tools. I have made some tool here which I can demonstrate if I have the time. But if you follow the audit report, in that audit report itself, they are given the formula for rating. The only thing that we need to do is do it honestly. We keep our hand in the heart and say, yes, I have done this right, that is enough. Supported by facts and examination of circumstances, facts, documents, and reading the law to build institutions. Then financial audit, it is more about financial accuracy, the primary focus, whereas in cooperatives it is democratic functioning. Nobody can say, the president cannot say, who are you to question me? Every member's voice counts in a cooperative society. And in corporate, it is market efficiency. That is, market efficiency is what is your, how the ROI can be, how you can multiply your ROI. Your efficiency is measured in ROI. But here, ROI is one of the objectives of audit, but social impact and sustainability is the prime focus here. That does not mean the society should run at a loss. Because even here, if you see the audit report, there is one column where you have to make a comment about the business during the year-end audit. And there, we simply give the numbers, the net profit, how we give a statement of facts when we file an appeal before any authority. Brief facts. But what is expected is compare this year's profits with last year's profits, and if you can appreciate it with the ratio analysis and find the reasons why the profits have gone up where and what are the reasons of efficiency for profit improvement or inefficiencies for losses or reduced profits. This is what is expected. That is propriety. So, now the other thing is the challenges that we face are different between cooperatives and corporates, because the members will ask you, who are the stakeholders in a cooperative society? In company audit, who is the stakeholder? Shareholders, right? You are answerable to them. But in cooperatives, it is the members to begin with. Their question will be, are my interests protected? Are my interests protected by this management and in the business? So I am signing, when I sign, I am assuring them of that. And the registrar of cooperative societies, his question will be, is compliance maintained? He will look at compliance with the law, rules, circulars and so on. And board, how do we improve? Community, what is the social impact of this society? You might be making profits, but is my community growing? Is it helping my community? Then our role should therefore, my dear friends, evolve from an auditor into a development partner. Even though we are not partners, getting any monetary benefit out of their growth, other than the increased audit fee, and that too for 2 years. But during the period of engagement, we have to be the development partner. This is how I have looked at it, and I have gained from it. And institutions have grown, and it gives a lot of, it gives a sense of satisfaction when you see this happening in front of your eyes. And these are institutions with very, very, very ordinary individuals who have got into the board, and they emerge leaders in the country and even become chief ministers. So it's a great opportunity to help these institutions to grow through with audit, by doing our audit properly, not by help. Many times I have seen this is probably due to lack of education to the cooperative management. Because when I say something, then they'll say, "Ella, bere auditor hage helilla." Either the auditor did not know, or he was trying to please the management. Because if you are always a yes man, you are assured of the assignment getting renewed. But by compromising, what are you doing? Are you doing service to the institution or disservice to the institution? You are actually killing the institution. If something is wrong and we don't report and we compromise, that is not right. Or even Reliance was known for it in the early days when I was doing my article shooting in the 80s, mid-80s. Reliance Industries during Dhirubhai's time, not Mukesh's time, Reliance never paid income tax till 115 JK, the tax on book profits. The tax on book profits came because of my boss, Chaturvedi. Because Reliance never paid tax, but of course they were paying excise. Dhirubhai used to say, "I'm paying excise, I'm paying more tax." And he was using these two, we were structuring, not structuring, and we are planning. Tax planning was done properly by taking advantage of weighted deductions that are available, depreciation allowances, and so on and so forth. Then book profit, tax on book profits came. You can do that in a corporate because there profit is the motive. We should not do that in corporate. Cooperative, everything is etched on stone. The act is your Bible. And cooperative principles is your God. Yes, we have 15 minutes left. If you have any questions or anybody wants to share their experiences or you want to know about any specific experiences which I would not have covered here, I will be very happy to share. Yeah, somebody was.
What are the benefits available to the cooperative society with regard to financing from the bank or government?
Yeah.
As compared to the cooperative?
Yeah. Okay, I will tell you. Yeah, can you repeat it please with the speaker so that everybody can listen? You can sit in your place.
My question is that what are the benefits available to the cooperative society with respect to the financial assistance from the banks or any tax benefits from the government as compared to the corporates? as compared
You are talking about the benefits to a cooperative society or its members.
to cooperative society.
Okay. In what way cooperative societies?
Like bank, they are providing the loans
Yes.
to the companies.
Yes.
They are also providing the loans and advances to the cooperative society.
Yes.
Is there any additional benefits by the bank to the cooperative society by granting the loans or something?
No. Okay. Let me explain the types of cooperative societies first. Briefly, in 2 minutes I'll cover it. See, there are different types of cooperative societies. The most common ones are PACs and Packard banks. PACs is Primary Agriculture Cooperative Society, which is a cooperative society for a village. Packard Bank used to be Land Development Bank earlier. Okay, PACS, that is PACs, is a society to provide, mainly to provide credit facilities to its members. That is the prime activity. So, activity of providing credit to its members is the main objective of a PACS, and that is what section 80B2A1 also says for giving exemption to that. Now, the difference between a PACS giving a facility to its members and a bank giving facility to a member primarily is in the tax part, number one. It's not the only difference. See, when
My question is that suppose from the village and from the big cooperative society, and when they approach the banks for certain, they are increasing their facilities or expansion of the activities. So, is that bank while providing the loans and advances to the large cooperative society, do they give any favor as compared to the companies?
okay. See, usually when banks give loans to cooperative societies, the terms are according to the bank's policies. Unless it is dictated by the government, some scheme. Okay. So, if it is let us say a fisheries federation, Fisheries Market Federation, which is there in South Canara, this federation has under its umbrella primary societies, fish marketing societies. This is to benefit the fishermen. Now, if the state government says that we have this scheme for these members, subsidy for interest, capital subsidy, then such subsidies are provided through this Apex Federation to the societies, which again percolates down to the members. So the benefit is to the member, not to the society. And such facilities, if the government directs the banks to give under certain, like priority sector loans, there might be a policy that, okay, if it is for fishing community, loan should be given at this rate. It is decided as a policy, RBI policy, it is decided. Then those schemes are implemented through this society network. Yeah, see, the societies fulfill the requirement. I mean, they actually address the last mile delivery of the services as well as finance. Like, for example, milk cooperatives, it's a beautiful, I think, how many of you are aware about Milk Producers Cooperative Society? Okay, because the reason why I'm asking is not for any other reason, because if all of you know and if I'm repeating, it is almost lunchtime, then I will put you to sleep. So, okay, it's a beautiful system. In fact, I don't remember the name of the book. Vijay Kurian's book about the Amul story. I don't know, the name is Amul story, I think. Amul story, I mean, it's about Amul. Now, Varghese Kurian's biography. Now, he started, when he started Amul, Polsons were the leaders. I'm talking about several decades ago. Don't I look so old? So naturally my stories will be old. So they did not allow anybody to sell butter. It was a monopoly. It is almost like Reliance Jio today. They will not allow other players to come, or like Indigo. No other airlines will come, and even if they come, they will crash. So he started this movement, one village at a time, by starting milk producers cooperative societies for every village, and there are many societies which are exclusively for women also, because the women folk were not profitably engaged. It was only, now of course the opportunities are more. I'm talking about 50s, even before I was born. 50s or 60s, I don't know, when I was just born. So, in a milk producers cooperative society, there are only two activities: procuring milk from the producer and supplying it to the federation. Nandini Dairy here is the apex body, and all these primary societies are coming under that. So these people will procure the milk, and the dairy will have a chilling unit somewhere close to this society, and will process it in the main dairy. Now, this society is locally registered, it has its own management, and it follows all the rules, and most of them are illiterates. Even today, you go to any MPCS, even in South Kerala, which is a highly literate district, you will not find the secretaries beyond the PUC level. They are managing this MPCS. They follow the rule book. Now, they procure milk, they supply to the federation, and as a result, they are providing gainful employment to the people to rear cows, cattle. Plus, they also provide many other facilities for the benefit of members, like procuring fodder, and they also, the federation supports through medical facilities for this cattle, which is monitored through this MPCS. So many things happen in a small MPCS, and the fee is very, very, very reasonable. It's about 2,500 or 3,000 for each MPCS. But still, the system works. And there are auditors who are doing this job, and I also do for this reason. And together, they have created a formidable organization like Nandini. Can anybody beat Nandini in Bangalore? There are others who are trying. There are private milk vendors also. But in milk supply, can anybody beat Nandini? No. And what is the foundation? MPCS. You go to an MPCS and then you will think, these are very ordinary people, but doing extraordinary things. So this is how cooperative movement works, my dear friend. And even PACS, Credit Cooperative Societies, MPCS, fish marketing societies, Packard banks, cooperative stores, consumer cooperative stores. Yeah. Keep your mic. Yeah.
Lichet Papad.
Yeah, Lichet Papad. Yeah, Lichet Papad. It's a bunch of ladies got this whole concept, and it's working.
So major manufacturing activities are undertaken by the federation.
Yes.
And any government benefits, tax.
Yeah, because ATP benefit is there. Therefore, the income of a cooperative society, the eligible income of a cooperative society, is deductible under section ATP. That will be the subject of the last session today. Those benefits. Yeah. Any other question, please?
What about finance facilities from NABARD?
Yes, that's what I said. The government schemes are passed through NABARD. And say, for example, for the dairies, there will be schemes which are specified by the government, supported and the policies are decided by NABARD, implemented through federations.
National Dairy NDDB.
Yeah,
Also this,
National Dairy Development Board, it is a board, it is not a cooperative society.
no, they also.
Yeah, that is for dairy. Yeah, for the dairy industry, it is NDDB. It's a central monitoring or whatever agency that we call. So for each, I mean, you can think of, I mean, there are cooperative societies for every, I mean, in fact, in Kerala there is a cooperative hospital also. Cooperative hospital is there. So anything that you can do in commerce, you can do it in a cooperative society. But only thing is, people cannot invest for management control, because if I invest heavily in it, I'll still get only one share. So I should be okay with compromising my strength and willing to accept others. And with the help of others and working along with others, I will build institutions. That's how it works.
All cooperative deposits are covered by DAGC.
No. Cooperative societies, I have to check, but not all. Not even credit cooperative societies.
Only Akbar Bank is covered.
Yes. DACGC, I think only wherever it is covered under the RBI regulation, Banking Regulations Act, those institutions, regulated institutions are covered. I don't think these cooperatives are. See, and there is one more reason, the last reason I'm telling you why we have to be careful is, it's just 1 minute. Because it is about money, my dear friends. It's about money, and if there is a run on State Bank, even State Bank cannot survive, despite the balance sheet and all that. If all the depositors decide to come to the bank and ask for cash, now the finance business works on that. Works on that principle. Because as long as deposits keep coming, you keep lending and you keep growing, and as long as you are growing, it will be good. So therefore, as auditors, my dear friends, when we are seeing this growth, we should ensure that the growth is healthy and there is no fraud. Otherwise, you will have challenges like the PMC bank. PMC is also a cooperative bank only in Bombay. The builders got into it and they got into this. So this is what I wanted to share, my dear friends, and I completely deviated from my presentation, but I do not know what is the impact on you. I hope it would have a good impact. See, more than anything, this session was to strengthen the chartered accountancy community to raise their heads before the authorities. If we follow what we have discussed just now, listen to our heart, read the law, and you should be brave enough to stand up and say what is right, what is wrong. This movement will survive, and the objective is only that. It is to what do you say? I'm not getting the right word. It is for the sake of a chartered accountant's pride. I took this as a topic, my dear friends. Otherwise, usually people think, cooperative audit, it's nothing but going there, signing and getting the check. And copy and paste and all that. No. Let us do it better. Let us take ownership, that is propriety, of the things that we do, and also call a spade, but there are ways in which you can put it across, and we should be able to convince them that what I am suggesting is for your good, and they will understand also, unless they are having a fraudulent intent. And if there is a fraudulent intent, then that is all the more reason for us to report it. Because if you allow it, along with that person, this name will not come in the paper, our name will come for sure, because we are chartered accountants. On that note, let's break for lunch, and can we resume after lunch? Are you too tired? I'm not getting an answer. If you want me to continue, I'll continue. Huh? Yes or no? Huh? Okay. I'll tell you the objective, my dear friends, about warning. My objective was to make aware about the opportunity that is there and how to take advantage of this opportunity ethically and to create a brand CA in cooperative sector. People should say, CA has done, will do a better job than the department. Now, the present situation is not so comfortable. We have to wash some dirty linen here in public, even at the risk of washing dirty linen in public here. Now, unless we know the challenges, we will not even try to find the solution. The management of the cooperative societies, as I told you, comprises of simple people. They are not professionals like us. There might be, but it will be an exception if they are there. Even the CEOs, of course, they are graduates in many cases, but in some smaller societies it will not be so. Milk producer society and so on. But the challenge is, they think they know everything. Because when we go there, if I don't know much about the act, or I just had a cursory glance at it, and I go to a cooperative society, sir, ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತು ಸರ್, ಇಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಇದೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ನಾವು. And to add to that, the very independence of this assignment is under question, because they are the very same authority who appoints you. Now, should we blame them? Or can we blame them? Yes or no? No, you're already at sleep. Good. I'm just testing.
No, we should balance.
Huh? So, they are not to be blamed at all. Because if I go and say, okay, you pay me less, or okay, I'm your relative, give it to me, or whatever. I don't want to get into those things. Then they will always treat it like a favor done to me. So where is the independence? So who is responsible? The one who is accepting it. So being a new area where nobody knew what is happening, department did not know because they were not supervising, because it is something new, they just let it go. Grudgingly, this act was the act was amended, chartered accountants panel was created, and then it was a free for all. The department thought, okay, that burden is reduced because they were not recruiting new people in the department. So the director was comfortable. He has many more hands to help them, and he can pass the buck on them also. But then they are independent. Otherwise, he is responsible to make sure that every audit is completed. Number two, the chartered accountants are more than happy because it's a new opportunity. Even I was one of them to think like that, and I just jumped at it, and I benefited, no doubt. But initially, I also made mistakes. Without knowing financial audit versus proprietary audit. not in compromising, but listening to the society people. Listening in the sense, sir, it is like this, it is like this. We have been doing like this. Last 10 years we have done it. Previous audit report also it is the same. So I assume it is somewhat similar. It was only when I started reading the act, I realized. And it is only when I came across certain situations, that is when I did my R&D in the act. The same thing happened in the case of income tax litigations also. ADP was a very controversial dispute between the department and the assessees, and I was the counsel for that Atma Shakti case, which was the landmark case in the tribunal, first case in the tribunal to be decided against the assessee, and thereafter we went to the High Court and we got relief. Then after that Mavilai came and then everything got set. So opportunities were there and I took advantage. But I kept listening. And beyond the point, when we give respect to these people, of course we have to give and take respect. But if it is the other way around, we are only giving respect and there is no respect backwards. And when you realize that if you continue like this, you will soon forget that you are a tiger. They will treat you like a pussycat. That is when the act came to my rescue. Friends, as I told you, act is the Bible. Principles and ethics are God's. So now, in this session, I am going to show you. In fact, I think it's a nice time. It's a good time to share an anecdote also. And I think we have the right forum also. All of you are chartered accountants, right? This is a borrowed anecdote by another chartered accountant, Guru Murthy. Have you heard about Guru Murthy? So he speaks well. But this is what he said about chartered accountants. So he narrated a story, and actually he narrated a story and then he asked questions. It was a sort of a quiz. Can we try that now so that you can wake up? It's a wake up call. Okay. So there was a circus which came to Bangalore. You know how now due to this prevention of cruelty to animals and all, there are no animals in the circus. But I am talking about the olden days. I told you I am from a different generation. So the animals were there in the circus and it was playing in Bangalore. And then this Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, they protested. They went to the government. They said, sir, these tigers are supposed to be in the forest. They are being used here in the circus. It is cruelty to animals. They should be let go and they should be set free in their natural habitat. Government said, yes, what you say is right. There are 3 tigers. They took the tigers and dropped them in the nearby forest. Within 1 week, all the 3 tigers died. And it is not because of eating the poisoned cow meat, like the recent incident. I heard about this, no, recently. So big news now. These tigers did not die for that reason. Nobody killed it. No human being killed it. Now you tell me, how did they die? Why did they die? Huh? They forgot hunting. Any other reason, sir? You are all chartered accountants. I think I should get at least a dozen answers.
They are dependent.
They are dependent.
They have been regularly fed.
They are regularly fed. They are used to it. So they did not know how to hunt and get their food. Yes.
Addicted to live in Bangalore. They are addicted to live in Bangalore.
Yes, they are addicted to live in Bangalore like all of us. Yes? No instructor, correct. Any more reasons, sir? But unfortunately, ladies are not contributing at all. I think they are all in deep sleep. Yes, at least one or two reasons why these tigers have died.
They forgot it was like this.
They forgot their tigers.
They wanted to be bulls.
Okay, they wanted to be in the cages. Okay. Okay. I will not drag it further. They died because the dogs in the forest killed them. They were killed by the dogs because the tigers thought they are dogs and the dogs thought they are tigers. That is the state of affairs of the chartered accountants today. We have forgotten that we are tigers and we still think we are dogs. I don't know about in general, but at least in the cooperative sector, I can see this. Because I can see people negotiating and bargaining for fees, falling at the fees of society management for getting recruited, appointed. Where is the independence? Naturally, those people have forgotten that they are tigers. And I hope one day they will be killed by the dogs. That is also happening. Because if you look at some of the re-audits and all being done in the department, re-audit is nothing but reopening the audit and finding fault, and if you are also found to be, I don't want you to be that, but if somebody is found to have not done his job right, well, then there are provisions in the Act to take action against them. Friends, if we have to know that we are tigers, we should know the Act. The Act says you are a tiger. So, that is what I am going to talk about now. So, this session is nothing but a reading of the Act and not the entire Act. One section is enough. It is like having Chyawanprash. Then we will know what we are as auditors. How the Act looks at it. So when anybody says, you are not, why are you doing this? We can say, go to that section. So, friends, are you willing to take that journey? Right? I am talking about section 63. I am not reading, of course, this is bare Act, but then I have structured it in two different categories. One, to make you aware that you are a tiger, that you are of this size, you have claws, you have teeth, and you have that tiger's instinct. Only then you will realize you are a tiger, isn't it? The second, as a tiger, what are we supposed to do? The first part is about the rights of an auditor. The second part is about the duties and responsibilities. Under the Act, and this is no, this is not a sermon session like in the morning. Morning it was all opinions. Here it is pure law. We find the law can be boring. Still okay? Okay, good. Okay, so the powers of a cooperative auditor are defined in subsections 1, 5, 6 and 9 of section 63. 1, 5, 6, 9. So, let's see subsection 1. Can you read it there? Okay. The other common trait we all chartered accountants have is always the last row is full. Front rows are always vacant. I have seen it right from GMCS days. Now again, I think same story. Or maybe here you can, I cannot see you sleeping. Sleeping is allowed, but snoring is not allowed. Because if you snore, you will wake your neighbor. Let him sleep. Yes. Under subsection 63, under subsection 1 of section 63, it says, every cooperative society, this is what gives us the right to audit. Every cooperative society shall get its accounts audited at least once in a year. And when? Before the 1st September. Before the 1st September, following the close of the cooperative year, by an auditor or an auditing firm appointed by the general body of the cooperative society from a panel of auditors or auditing firms approved by the director of cooperatives or cooperative audit. So now, if I want to be a cooperative auditor, first thing that I need to do is to be in the panel. I should be, my name or my firm should be there in the panel. So that is the first step you have to take, since most of you are here, and you can visit a site called Sahakara Darpana. Sahakara Darpana, which is a cooperative audit site, and then you will get all the information. Okay. So once you are empaneled, then you are eligible to audit, and there are different classes of auditors there, A, B and C, and there are thresholds for these societies. If your turnover is beyond so much, then your account should be audited by A category, A class auditors, then B and C, and this A, B and C is not determined by way of by the number of partners and all, like in MBF. It is based on the number of years experience that you have post your qualification. So I think if you have more than 10 years experience, have more than 10 years experience, then you can be in the A category. So,
experience means in the audit of the cooperative?
No. Post qualification experience. If you are a chartered accountant holding a certificate of practice for more than 10 years, or whatever number of years, that is what matters. Okay. Now, every society has to be audited. Now, they will appoint you in the general body. But usually, the management is in control. And whatever they say, rarely the general body will object. So, effectively, if the management decides, then you are appointed as the auditor. This is how it practically works. But we draw our power from the general body and not from the board. I'll tell you, there was okay, I can share this information without giving names. This was a slightly complicated cooperative audit. The general body had appointed me as the auditor for 23-24. Yes, 23-24. Now, after the general body appointed me, then the board changed. There was an election, and the board changed, and then the blaming started. You are responsible, and all that. And the new management, old management, So then the new management wanted to change the audit. They approached me. I told no problem. I'll give my no objection. And I even wrote to the director. I said, I don't want to be an unwelcome guest to anybody's house. It's very uncomfortable. People are saying you get out and you are coming in and forcing yourself in. So I gave my letter. I put the ball in the director's court. Everybody wanted that to be changed because the new management was affiliated to another political party and the political party came to power. And then if they wanted to fix, they could fix things for the old people. I mean, it's all about personal rivalries. I did not want to be a party to that at all. And the ball was in the director's court, but the director said, initially they probably thought, okay, we will say okay, and the TD's office also was following up with me. They were talking to me. Then suddenly one fine morning I got a letter from the director's office. No, we will not change the audit. You have to continue to be the audit. That really challenged me because I'm an unwelcome guest there. The new management does not want me. I didn't even know them. I didn't even know the old management. And they presumed that since I was appointed during the old management's time, I will have a bias against them and I will naturally will not help them to uncover any wrong deeds done by them. Having been appointed, I kept my independence. That is when this particular assignment, it taught me the whole act. Because I had to be fair to both. I followed everything, including issuing summons. See, as an auditor, I had the power to issue summons under this act. And a summon given by me has the authority of the state. And I did that. And if it doesn't attend, then it is I don't know what is the section under which it is found to be fault in Cooperative Act. And stringent action can be taken. So, don't you think auditors are tigers? Even though the new management did not want me, I went there, I sat there, I issued summons. I issued it to the accused people who were accused of defrauding. And it was not to accuse them, it was to find facts. So, friends, that is the power of an auditor in Cooperative Societies Act. And when we are having all these powers, why should we fall at their feet? This is what I want to highlight, my dear friends. See, we have 200 of us here. If all the 200 decide, we will not be subject to this. And if others also follow, and a stage will come where the cooperative society will go to another person and say, please compromise here, and if there is no chartered accountant available to compromise, don't you think this sector will improve? This is a better way of doing it voluntarily, rather than NAFRA or disciplinary committee coming and telling us, you should not be doing this. This is my personal opinion, my dear friends. And the purpose of the morning as well as the afternoon session is to propagate this message. That's all. I am a messenger. I am not a prophet. Yes. Now, there is a proviso to this section. Are you fine with the explanation? Usually explaining sections will be very, I know how it is. Okay. Provided that the Director of Cooperative Audit shall be the authority competent to prepare and maintain a list of auditors and auditing firms who satisfy the prescribed qualifications. Prescriptions are given in the circular or notifications. And experience for undertaking the audit of accounts of cooperative societies in the state. That answers your questions. the qualification experience is defined in the notification. You can see that in the circular section. And provided further that it is not the national bank, the Registrar of Cooperative Societies shall prepare a list of auditors and auditing firms who satisfy the prescribed qualification and experience for undertaking the audit of accounts of national bank, Reserve Bank, not national bank, Reserve Bank as well as NABARD. They prepare a panel for state cooperative banks and DCC banks. So, the Registrar of Cooperative Societies prepares a panel for cooperative societies, and here the NABARD, it's mainly the NABARD. And for cooperative banks, it is RBI. Now, we'll go to section 63(5).
Cooperative banks, it is NABARD or RBI or both?
Cooperative banks, cooperative banks is RBI. Urban cooperative banks as well as cooperative banks RBI. DCC banks, the central cooperative banks, it is NABARD. So that it is to do with agriculture finance. Now, under subsection 5, subsection 5 is about what you have access to. The right to access. The auditor or auditing firms shall at all times have access. So we are entitled to access. So if they say, no, I will not allow you, it's a violation of section 63(5), for which there is a counter action. Have access to all the books, accounts, documents, papers, securities, cash, and other properties, virtually everything. These properties are defined in subsection subrule. It is defined in subrule 1 of Rule 29. These properties and assets should belong to the society. I should have access to it. Or in the custody of any member of the board. If any member is having it in his house, I can have access to it. Or the office bearer, or the chief executive, or any other employee of the society. So if they are having custody of these assets. So why this section 63(5) I am elaborating so much is because you will issue summons under 63(5). Now the communication should be like our income tax notice. So drawing power from section 63(5), I will seek access to specific or all records, and specific to put it on record. And now the next part is, and may, it's optional, I can choose to do this or not to do this. Summon any person, I can issue summons. Summon any person in possession or responsible of the responsible for the custody to produce the same at the registered office. So when I issue a summons, if I issue the summons and ask them to come to my office, then it is not right. It's not the right way of giving my summons. Issue the summons, tell them at this appointed time in the registered office, you are summoned to be there. And for what? To give me access to this information. or property, document, whatever, or at any branch thereof. You can even call, you can issue summons to any person to come to the branch. It can be either branch or registered office, or at any public office at the headquarters of the society. Public office definition we'll have to see. I'm not very clear about it, but if you look at the definition of this term, public office could be, I assume, a DC's office, the government office, or the Deputy Director's office, Deputy Director of Cooperative Audit, Deputy Registrar's office. These are public offices for sure. Located at the headquarters of the society. So friends, see, this section, first section appoints me. The first subsection. This subsection empowers me to get access and to make people produce documents or provide information. Now the next section, next subsection. Yeah.
See, we have got access to cash or properties.
Yes.
It includes movable or immovable properties
Yes.
of the society only.
Yes.
So where is the place of properties pledged or mortgaged?
That becomes their property.
Even
Yeah, because see, they may not be the legal owners, but they have possession of that, right?
just like you gold or gold,
Yes.
gold or gold.
Yes, that becomes the property of the society,
Not necessarily.
not legal ownership. So, usually that is what we ask for. Or even documents, property documents for against loans given, mortgage documents and so on. There, the parties' mortgage documents should be there. Now, subsection 6. Subsection 6, here, the earlier power was to seek information, seek access. Now here, it is the duty of the society, office bearers, to produce. If they don't produce, or if they don't heed to my summons, then it is a violation of duty, their duty under section 63(6). That will be the cause of action. So let's read it. Every person who is or has at any time been an officer, means present officer as well as who has been an officer. The term officer is defined. I am not getting into so much of detail. Or employee of the society. So, present employees and past employees of the society, and every member and past member. I can even issue a notice to a member and past member of the society, and past member also. They cannot say, I am no longer a member, there is no locus standi. This section makes it a duty for him to perform. Of the society shall furnish, does not say may, shall furnish. So when I ask, they should furnish such information in regard to the transactions and workings of the society. This is about information, my dear friends. So this is nothing but a sort of an investigation. I am summoning that person, he is duty bound to come, and I can ask for information, and he or she is duty bound to provide that information as the auditor or auditing firms approved by the director of cooperative society, cooperative audit may require. So, I can ask for information and they are duty bound under 63(6). Then this is what will happen if they don't follow. failure of an officer in the same subsection, employee or member of a cooperative society in possession of any information, books, it includes information also. So past employee, I can ask him what happened in that year. Books or records, to furnish such information or produce such books or records or to give assistance. They have to cooperate, they have to give assistance to me to do my audit. If they don't cooperate, then it amounts to not giving any assistance. To the person authorized to audit the account of the society under section 63 of the Act is an offence and is punishable under section 109 of the Act. Section 109 defines the punishment, some fine and payment or whatever. Don't you think we are powerful? Then how dare anybody can come to a chartered accountant and say, and treat us like cats. So I had this situation, I faced this situation, this new management. I issued summons. Then they were arguing with the department, and even the department people also, everything is not clean there, because they have to please their bosses. Their boss is the corporation minister, and the corporation minister is from the same party as this new management which has come. And there are so many things at play. And I got caught. I did not want the audit, it was forced on. But it was a great learning, my dear friends. And good. I can share this so that I can keep you awake. So, when I issued this summons, the president is asking me, how dare you are auditing my society and issuing summons to me? And the deputy director that person was not so experienced, and even the department acknowledges it. Because the field experiences, she did not have the field experience. So she was carried away by the minister and all that. So she said, ಅದು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಸರ್ ನೀವು ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು? ಅವರೇ ಅಕ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸಮನ್ಸ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಕಳಿಸೋದು? As if I am doing something wrong. Then I told the madam, I have done this under section 63(6). ಅದು ತಪ್ಪಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳಿಸಿ. I wrote it, I sent it in writing. I told, and because the notice itself says it is under section 63(6). I told her, you read the notice, and it is under that section. And if what I have done is not right, then I will stand corrected. You tell me what is right, I will correct myself. No, there is nothing else right. What I am doing is right. And then I also warned her, read the second part also. If that fellow does not cooperate, I will book him under section 109. I have the authority to punish him. He has to face the consequences, even if he is not wrong. He is the one making accusations. I was being fair. I wanted it to be a fair investigation. And ultimately, I found there was an element of fraud in some transactions, which we reported. Now he is the best friend of mine. He is my best friend. At that time, everything was colored. Because the earlier management had appointed, and he thought, and even people, they use and misuse chartered accountants like anything. In fact, this fellow told me recently that, I told you I don't have any political affiliations. So, and this new management is from a different party which is ruling in the state. So, and I believe the people who had committed the fraud, it's a small town, no? They told, auditor now setting ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. So that is why he was not cooperating. Setting ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, and that he has spoken to some opposition leader, some very big person in South Canara, and he has spoken to me, and I will be influenced by that. And I told, I am not so cheap. Nobody can buy me so. Do you think that fellow can buy me? Even Mukesh Ambani cannot buy me. So, forget about this what are emotions. What I am talking about is now. Why could I be so bold? Section 63(6). Now, if we don't know this, if we have not read the law, my dear friends, we will all be like toothless tigers. So when you go to a cooperative society, we should, I mean, they should treat us with respect. They need not take us for 1 hour lunch and 2 hours coffee. But let them give us the desired respect and follow the law.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, in that section it says it should be approved by the director.
Yes.
So whether when you are issuing summons, you should take approval from the director before issuing it to that person.
Let me go to this.
63(6).
No. See, this is not the bare act, madam. Okay. I have changed it to suit our reading, to make it more comfortable. And for a session after lunch, if I have the bare act, just if I show you that, that is enough. And what I am speaking will be like a song. So, combination of both is deadly. So, but this is not the precise. What it says is, I am from the approved panel, and the general body has appointed me. And even here, I forgot to mention, the director also, he asked me to continue, not because of any love, or not because he thought I am the best chartered accountant. He did it because he said, I don't have the power, it is the general body which has appointed you. Okay, so now it is clear. So director has nothing to do. Audit is mine. So even during the course of this audit, we were being prodded. Sometimes by the department also, sir, idu salpa nodi, adu salpa nodi. Then I said, okay, give it to me in writing. So when they give it in writing, no, they will say, okay, this. Parishilana made sutta, whatever that report kodu. Means, look at this, but you examine and you give it in, you report it. So, the news is around my neck only. They are not taking it on their neck. But I was independent and I was bold enough. So, yes. Now am I clear? Okay. Subsection 9. General meeting. Now, the auditor or the auditing firm shall have right to receive all notices and every communication relating to the general meeting of a cooperative society. I have to get it under section 63(9). If they have not issued, or if they are trying to avoid, it is my right and they are depriving me of that right. And at the cost of the cooperative society, now at their cost, shall be entitled to attend such meeting. So I can attend that meeting and I can send them my transport bill also. It will be at their cost and to be heard. So if they say, Bunny sir, coffee kudiri hogi. But if I insist, yes, I want to be heard, I have that power. So remember, in this audit also, I had that power. Even if, of course, now everything is settled, solved, and to the best satisfaction of all the parties concerned. because we were balanced. At that time only this president told me, sir, namge higella ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. So, if there was something which they were saying adverse or not, it's not about opinion, about something which I have done, being objected in law, I have every authority to attend that general body meeting and my words to be recorded over there and to be taken on record. I mean, whatever I say has to be taken on record, and if I state that some action is to be taken, the general body has to decide. So we have the power to talk to the general body, which we do not even know. We think the general body only appoints us. That's all. And things work like that. And then we send the report, we get the fee, then it is next year. Now, at the general meeting, in respect of what are the things that I can say, in respect of all or any part of the business, all the business or any part of the business, and it is not about anything in my audit report alone. It can be about any item in my audit report. It can be about business also, or any part there, with which he is concerned as auditor or auditing firm. So, the auditor has got so much power. So, the only thing is, we should know, and we should behave like tigers also. Now, this is a deadly section, section 66. Seize and impound. We even have the power to seize and impound. Are there any provisions like this in corporate company law? See, I have forgotten my company law because when I gave my exam, it was 1956 Act. 2013, I have not even gone through it because there was no need. I don't practice in that area. I don't do any corporate audits. So, just for my knowledge, is there any power to seize and impound given to the auditors? Anyway, you can check later. I don't think it is there. It was not there in 56 Act. I'm sure it might not be here also. So that is why this is not financial audit. It is propriety audit. Okay. So we will have all the powers of a government officer to do this. Now, if any officer or person conducting audit under section 63 of KCS Act has a reason to believe, you would have seen this in the income tax notices, right? Section 147 or 271, no, 147, right? Reason to believe that any books or other property of the society have been tempered, if it has been tempered with or are likely to be tempered with. If I leave it there, they will temper it. If left with the society with a view to eliminate or efface or change or manipulate any evidence. So we are there to gather evidence or to substantiate every transaction or anything wrong that is done there, which may be deemed necessary by such officer or person in connection with the proof of, where did I miss out? Okay, tampered with. If left with the society with a view to eliminate or efface or change or manipulate any evidence which may be deemed necessary by such officer. If I deem it necessary or person in connection with the proof of any defect or irregularities noticed by him during the course of audit. If I notice some defect or irregularities and I have reason to believe that they have tampered it or they are going to tamper it. In such case, the power to seize and impound such books or property is there with us. In such manner and for such period as may be prescribed, or that there is a notification, or in the rules, I can seize and impound. The manner for seizure and the period for which they could be impounded are laid down in Rule 53A of the KCS rules. So there we have to refer to that rule and follow the procedure. You follow the procedure and you have reason to believe and you state that reason in writing, record it in writing, and you have this, you assume this power. Friends, don't you think we are tigers now?
Whether we have to exhibit with reason to believe?
Pardon, sir?
Whether we have to exhibit the reason to believe?
Yeah.
It is already.
No. We have to record the reason. Because otherwise it will be an arbitrary action. So it is like our income tax reassessment proceedings, or even 154. 154, no, some section, last week I had covered it. If the officer has reason to believe. So if he has reason to believe, he cannot simply say, I have reason to believe. He has to state the reason. It has to be, the right thing to do would be to state the reason. Now, if we are aware of these powers, friends, being aware of these powers, I think we should stay independent and not succumb to any sort of attempts to deviate from the right way of conducting this audit. They may not like it sometimes. They will not like it if they have done something wrong. But when I know that I have not done anything wrong and I have pointed out this wrong with evidence and it is not an opinion only, then at the most what will happen? I will not be appointed again. That is better. If I compromise after 5 years, the same old management may come back. Then the history will repeat. So then they will know where exactly to read. So history repeats. If you do something good, good will come to you. If you do something wrong, even in audit, it's only a matter of time when it will catch. So friends, we have excellent tools. The tools that he gave are really good eye-openers even for me, how to use Excel. In fact, I was planning to create some tools using artificial intelligence with these reports. Using these reports, even AI can throw up some good analysis and report. Do good analysis and reports. You can use it. So I think we can do all that. I can see a lot of young people here who can do audit in a better way than simply vouching. So a combination of technology plus what is expected under the Act will result in good quality audit report which will be appreciated. And in the market, there will be customers for different products or the same products in different with the different value propositions. Even I am talking about general goods. Some people don't mind the quality, they'll pay a lesser price. Just to give you an example, I am not saying that the goods are bad. Earlier we used to think Big Bazaar is very cheap, the goods will not be good. You go to Spencer's, Spencer's will have quality. Only thing better is their board, that's all the difference. But the products are the same. So same way, even for us, if we stick to our independence and ethics, it will take some time for people to know. And when people know, such people only will come to you. I have seen this, I've been the biggest beneficiary of this in my tax practice. Because when I walk into any department, nobody expects anything. Because now it is all faceless. I'm talking about even when, on odd occasions we have to meet officers. But even then, things are, they only talk law with me. So the same thing can happen here also. I'm not saying I'm great, but I'm only sharing my experience. So in fact, in one seizure matter, a client came to me. Not seizure, it was a search. It was a search case, and then assessment followed by seizure, search and seizure. So I took him along with me, and we met the officer, and it was all very comfortable. We could go and meet the commissioner and all that. Then he was referred by another chartered accountant. See, most of my assignments are not from my clients. It is referred by other CS. They come to me for the value addition that I can do in representing the clients. So this fellow went back and he told his CA, "Sir, do you think he can do the job?" And he asked, "Why? Iವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಹಣ ಹೇಗೆ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು? How will the officers take money from him? Because they give him so much respect." So that is the reputation which I could build with my ethics. We can do that here also in cooperative. At least if we 200 people do that, then we will be different. And there will be, not all institutions are bad. Majority of them are good. There will be some odd guys who will resort to shortcuts. So let them go wherever they want. We can stick to this. And the law is there to protect you, provided you work according to law. And that is what I am going to talk now. Duties and responsibilities. Rights, there are only 3-4 subsections I could quote. But duties, just count 4, 5, 6, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, Rule 29, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, what is the bottom line? The duties are more than the rights. So, friends, let us look at the duties. Subsection 4. The audit under subsection 1 of section 63 or under section 98U or section 98B shall include. See, what are all the things we have to say? Shall is the word to see. You may think, okay, I'll just do a computer audit and it is done. I'm so good in, I'm tech savvy and I know everything, I can do it. It shall include an examination of overdue debts. So here, even though there is a mistaken notion, that we don't have to report overdues in the audit report of credit cooperative societies. But for PSCS report, it is there. PSCS, they have aging and all that. In credit cooperative societies, it is not there. So there is an assumption among chartered accountants that if it is not there in the report, why report at all? Even though we know very well that there are overdues. Now, it is, earlier I used to think it is all, old style, dictated by the earlier generation of department auditors. But when I opened the act, I saw it here. So, if you don't examine the overdues, you can be held responsible under section 63(4). Deficiency in service. Number one, if any, and physical verification and valuation of assets. So now, here, in company audit, financial audit, what do we do? Huh?
Management of presentation.
So if you do the same here and wash your hands, think that you have washed your hands off. What are you doing? Ultra wires 63(4). So these are small things. Again, financial audit, proprietary audit. So you should not only verify the asset. Sometimes we think, okay, verification is done, valuation by management. Management says it is worth 5 crores, but we can see only a cattle shed there. And they are valuing it at 5 crores. And you believe that it is not worth more than 50,000. So, you are duty bound to examine that. And again, don't try to read the law literally. You should go by the purpose of this section. Now, this is in pursuit of cooperative principles. So, we need not, we may think, okay, we'll simply say that, okay, we have verified and we have examined the valuation. Examined which valuation? Management valuation. No. We have to verify, examine, and give our opinion in our report. And liabilities also, if any, physical verification and valuation of assets, and liabilities also. Verification of cash balance that we do in any case, and securities. Very important. And certification of profits or losses, this is what we do. Compliance with transparency law and other laws applicable to the cooperative societies, including the instructions and directives of NABARD or RBI. Not charging. Might go off. Can somebody inform the institute staff? I don't have his number with me. No, my laptop will go off. So if the laptop goes off, then this auditor's power also is off. Then I'll have to start only singing. My wife is a better singer, not me. I'm not even a bathroom singer. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Now we have clear instruction about audit examination. Yeah. Now 63(14), inquiry responsibilities. The auditor has to inquire. Earlier it was examination, now it is about inquiry. Whether the loans and advances made by the cooperative society are properly secured and are not prejudicial to the interest of the cooperative society or its members. It is not just security. It should not be prejudicial to the interest of the members. B. Whether the transactions of the cooperative society are not prejudicial to the interest of the cooperative society. This is almost like drafting our grounds of appeal. We make the grounds so general that when we are arguing, we can bring any argument into. Power illa anta barta ಇದೆ. ಇಬ್ಬರು ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರಿ ಎಸ್ Yeah, 63:14. Closing time is 15 minutes from now or 30 minutes from now? 30 minutes. So still willing to tolerate me. 15 minutes more. Okay, good. Yeah, I'll make it fast. The auditor has to inquire. Okay, I first whether the loans and advances are. See, the most important thing to see here is to make sure that it is not prejudicial to the interest of the members of the society. So, it is proprietary audit. We cannot simply say, okay, KYC done, all signatures found, approved by the management, responsibility over. So, if it is found to be detrimental to the interest of the members, and if I have cleared it, then I will also become a party to it. Now, whether the transaction of a cooperative, and it applies to transactions also, not just loans and advances. Whether personal expenses have been charged to the revenue account. We discussed in the morning. Whether the position as stated in the account books and the balance sheet of the cooperative society is correct, regular and not misleading. That is why that PAC's report, morning Varun was saying that in spite of deriving the balance sheet from the same books of accounts, so there is no human intervention. So it will naturally tally, and still we are expected to tick item by item. Maybe they are trying to make us literally do this, literally follow section 63:14. So we may think they are silly, but what they are doing is, if they want to, if this is really silly, then they should change the law itself. They should amend it. But until the act is amended, we have to follow. Otherwise, it will be a violation. So what to do? Even if the software developer is smart, still the law will bite it. Okay. D, whether, okay, our balance sheet is over. See, here it says correct, regular and not misleading. It is not just true and fair. It should be correct. And it is regular. And 3, not misleading. Now, whether any special issue referred for inquiry by Reserve Bank or National Bank, National Bank means NABARD, duly inquired into and reported to the concerned. So, if NABARD or RBI has issued any direction, not just for, it can be a general circular or a specific circular also, you have to make sure that such inquiries have been made and reported. And for that, we have sub-rule 11 of Rule 29B. This is the rule. The audit report shall also contain, the word here is also contain schedules and statements with particulars of schedules and statements. All transactions which appear to be contrary to the provisions of the Act, the rules or the bylaws, means any violation of the Act, rules or bylaws, those transactions have to be, we have to make a list, a schedule of that and attach it with the audit report. This I realized when I was doing the audit I was telling you, when the management changed. But there was some fraudulent transactions. All transactions which appear to be contrary to the guidelines issued by RBI and NABARD. RBI and NABARD guidelines are also important. It's not just the cooperative law. Schedules and statements as in sub-rule 3 duly verified and certified. So imagine, it's not just audit under Cooperative Societies Act and the accounting policies and principles, in spite of not having Ind AS and so on, but it is also about guidelines issued by Reserve Bank and NABARD. So now tell me, is it a simple audit? There's so much of responsibility and even I was not aware. So that is why I have reduced the number of audits. And some of our friends here also were, they shared the same opinion with me. No, I was very enthusiastic at the beginning. I thought, oh, it's so easy. This year I am doing 5, next year I will do 10, and then it will go to 50 and then 100. Managing 5 itself is more than enough. Yeah. The audit under subsection 1 of section 63 shall include, in addition to the matters specified in subsection 2 and subsection 14 to 18 of the said section, the following particulars. The audit report should include examination of the programs and activities undertaken by the society with reference to the objectives mentioned in the bylaw. I have seen cases where the chartered accountant has not even seen the seen the bylaws, signed the balance sheet. It is operation successful. Patient is, we are not sure if the patient is alive or dead. So, see, duties and responsibilities. Not only the number of duties are more than the rights, but the tasks that are expected out of you is also bigger. So with so much of responsibility, can you imagine doing 10 audits in 5 months period? Impossible. Yeah. Then verification of receipts and payments, income and expenditure with reference to, the word to be noted is here, original receipts and vouchers. Where do we find this? Sub-rule 3 to rule 29. Sub-rule 3 to rule 29 says that I have to look at every original receipt and voucher. So here, the word to be read here is not voucher alone. It is original receipt and voucher. There was an allegation in this particular society's case. Voucher is there, but receipt is not there. Supporting voucher. Receipt they mean supporting voucher. But then I had to take into account only material amounts. So here, some 12 rupees tea expenditure. Voucher is there, bill is not there. Which tea fellow will have a bill with him? So we had to take a call in such cases. Then we explained that also. We have not reported these transactions. For materiality reason, it doesn't make a big difference. Yes. So friends, I was under the impression that these department auditors from the earlier generation have specifying this and they are asking me, and they are old fashioned and I am the new guy, new generation, and they are trying to teach me audit. But they are not teaching me, the act is telling me to do this. Now, verification of receipts is over. About their genuinity and the property. It is genuine and proper. Not only should it be there, but we should make sure that it is genuine. Verification of balances and the credit of depositors and creditors and of the amounts due by the society's debtors of such proportion thereof as may be fixed by the Registrar of Cooperative Societies or RBI. Then examination of transactions of members of the board. We have to check and we have to report that we have examined. So it is not optional, it is mandatory, it's part of our. See, normally what we do is we follow the audit report book format which is given to us, and that covers all. And sometimes that's why you'll be wondering why is this there? It's old fashioned, but act as. Now, examination of the recruitment and promotion of employees. Not just recruitment. First of all, do we look into recruitments of employees in companies? No, for PF and other compliances, yes. But here it is not PF and nobody pays PF there. I mean, the salaries are so less. And many of them, they don't even pay ESI. That is a violation. This employee verification is not about that. The employee verification in cooperative audit is to find out if they are authorized to employ that person. If there is a vacancy, the vacancy should be approved by the registrar. Then it has to be approved by the board. Then it should be within the budget, and the budget should have been passed in the general body. Then they have to release advertisements, they have to conduct tests, interviews, and then recruit people. As an auditor, I have to check all these things. Do we check this in Companies Act? All the employees? Okay, good. If you are doing it, good. But generally, we look at it from a compliance angle. But here it is from a propriety angle. And this, every employee, because earlier, some societies, they deviate from here and they don't recruit. Or even if they recruit without knowing this, some people are not aware about these things and they think the society is owned by them. And they recruit. And we also approve. I mean, we think it is fine. If there is a need for this employee, they will not get anyone else and they are employed. But it is a clear violation. Should be reported. Examined and reported. Now, including their service conditions and disciplinary actions against them. So, which means it is not just an audit of finance, it is an audit of HR also. Disciplinary actions and examination of services provided to members and the extent of utilization of the said services by the members. This is where the extra obligations come into play. So not only the services should be there and it should be utilized. How many members have borrowed? How many members have patronized the cooperative store? We have to examine and report to show how members are benefiting. And section 63(15) audit report requirement. This is a normal thing. The auditor shall make a report of the cooperative society on the accounts examined by him. The report shall state whether in his opinion this is similar to what we normally do. But the only difference between the cooperative audit report and corporate audit and company audit accounts, final statements are, in the case of cooperative society, you will have, if it has trading activity, manufacturing and trading account, then receipt and payment account, income and expenditure account, and balance sheet. 4 statements. But at least 3 statements will be there: receipt and payment, income and expenditure, and balance sheet. Subsection 16. The auditor's report shall also state, this is what we normally give in our other reports also, with some changes here and there, that he has obtained all the necessary information and explanation, that in his opinion, proper books of accounts have been maintained and proper returns have been received, have been prepared for the purpose of audit from branches. And how he has dealt with the audit report of branch office audited by other persons, third party audit, relying on work of other auditors, how it has been dealt. We have to report. These are all common, usual things, but I am just repeating because it is there. And whether the cooperative society's balance sheet and profit and loss account dealt with by the report are in agreement with the books of accounts and returns. 17. The report shall have all the particulars of the defects or irregularities observed in the audit, and in case of financial irregularities and misappropriation or embezzlement of funds or fraud, the auditor or auditing firm shall investigate and report. So, usually the defects and irregularities anyway have to be reported. Nunatego, they say in the report. And in case of misappropriation or embezzlement of funds or fraud, then we have to investigate and report, which is what I did. So for the investigation, I issued summons to both the parties. That is when the management found fault with me. I am not the accused. You should send summons to him, not to me. Who are you to? You are my auditor. Who are you? It is your duty to investigate and find. And how can you summon me and ask? Then I had to show them this provision, this rule, this section 370. Then accounting irregularities and their implications on the financial statement to be indicated in detail in the report with the corresponding effect on P&L account. See here, in the case of, this is a style of reporting. So when you find accounting irregularities, we have to prepare a note on its implication in the P&L account, and that note will have to be separately attached to the audit report. So if you don't do this, then we will fail in our duty. Simply mentioning this in the profit and loss account, income and expenditure account is not enough. What they have asked, we have to give. The functioning of the general body, board and subcommittees should be checked, and any irregularities or violations observed to be reported, duly fixing the responsibility for such acts. It is not just saying that this was irregular. We should also fix the responsibility. Who is responsible? Is it the board? Is it the CEO? Is it the accountant? That is our job. If we don't fix responsibility, then it is not a complete report. Then all schedules and other statements as may be prescribed. 18. Qualifying or negative observations, whether any matters referred to, this we will have to report. Qualifications. Now, this is most important, my dear friends, audit remuneration. Many of us think audit fee is negotiable. It is not negotiable. It is like the contribution to education fund which I explained in the morning today. 2,346 rupees. So if auditor's remuneration is fixed according to the, is actually prescribed. Is prescribed by way of a notification from the Registrar of Cooperative Societies. And it is a percentage, it is based on the slabs. There are different slabs of working capital, and for each slab the rate is prescribed. Not the rate, the audit remuneration is prescribed, and it has to be mandatorily followed. So if you provide, if you are sympathetic to a cooperative society, the working capital was 1 crore and you are supposed to charge 1,50,000 rupees, and that year they have made a loss. So they come crying to you and you also start crying and you say, okay, what is the best I can do? I will also give up 1,50,000, will not provide for audit fees. That is my contribution. Then you will also violate this provision. You are not only not getting your fees, but at the same time you are violating your audit report is also wrong. So this is the remuneration of the auditor or audit firm of a cooperative society shall be borne by the society and shall be at rates as may be fixed by general body of the society. The rate is fixed, but it is actually prescribed. They don't have discretion. Now, remuneration payable to the auditor or auditing firm. Now, again here, after we complete the audit, if I go to him next day and ask him, give me my fees, then he'll say, wait till my general body meeting. And we will also wait because we want to wait till we are appointed next year. And if I insist, no, you give me the fees now, next year we'll see later, then he'll appoint somebody else. It can happen. So, many times, we are afraid to approach them for the fee. And sometimes, in fact, in this assignment, just because the president felt that the previous year's audit was not right, he suspected some one or two fraudulent transactions. He had not even paid the audit fee of the previous auditor before I could commence the work. So I had to protect the interest of my previous auditor. Then I told, I want my NOC. And I told the auditor to mention that she has not received the fees. She was afraid. She said, no, I will not. I will simply. And she refused to give the NOC. And I told, no, you will get your money. She got it. But that is different. See, it's not about me doing this. It is about she behaving like that. Now, read this, Rule 13. Remuneration payable to the auditor or auditing firm. The remuneration payable to an auditor or auditing firm for taking up the audit for having audited the accounts of a cooperative society shall be fixed by the general body of the society. The general body fixes it based on the working capital and turnover as per guidelines issued by the government in this regard from time to time. Government guideline is that what is due to me has to come to you. Now we'll read the next slide. This is about remittance of the fees. This is what people are not aware of. We are all looking at how much we can earn, how to collect, we are shy. Because so much of this no solicitation thing has been drilled into us. We feel shy of even asking our audit fees. In the event of a cooperative society failing to pay the remuneration payable to the government or an auditor under the provisions of Rule 13, the Director of Cooperative Audit may call upon the bank where the concerned cooperative society has maintained its account to remit the outstanding amount of remuneration to the government or even to the auditor. On receipt of such demand, the bank shall remit the sum as audit remuneration to the government or the concerned auditor. I have to simply complain to the director, and of course, the directors also take their own sweet time, but he has the authority to collect the money directly into the bank account. I don't have to go to their doorstep. Once I have completed my job, just send a complaint to the director. We don't know this power. Now, the bank shall comply with the directions. Now, further, the same procedure will be followed if any payment of remuneration is due to any chartered accountant or CFO. I rest my case. So, friends, don't you think it is exciting? And do you think corporate audit also is easy? Even proprietary firms, tax audits, partnership firms, I mean, clients may not cooperate. I mean, they may have their own way of accounting, and they will convince us, and we are also convinced to sign the balance sheet. And when something wrong happens, then it is the auditor who is blamed, not the client. In fact, am I frightening you? No, right? Okay. There was one case where a chartered accountant had given his opinion about in Caro there is one. I am not good in audit, I told you, but I had represented this client before the disciplinary committee. That is how I remember this. So in Caro, we have to give our opinion about borrowings from institutions, that they are regular or something of that sort. So the client had changed the auditor, and he came for the first time. And at that time, there was a bank borrowing. The balances had not changed. The acknowledgement of debt, AOD, had expired. So the bank did not have an enforceable right on this balance. And one-time settlement process was on. So the amount of I think it was an opinion to be given on the amount which is not overdue but in dispute or whatever. So at that time, he gave an opinion that based on these facts, the amount is nil. The amount in dispute is nil, because, and at the same time, the bank is having the branch in the borrower's premises, and they are crediting the rent to his account and not adjusting it to the loan account also. So keeping all these facts in mind, he thought this is a regular account and it's a one-time settlement account. And he gave his clean opinion. After 8 years, an ARC took over this debt from the bank. And they did not go after the borrower, because the borrower was some underworld somebody. They would not be able to come back alive. They got hold of this CA portal, and the opinion that he has given is wrong, and this is professional misconduct, disciplinary committee proceeding, and the member is suspended. So, we don't know the implications of what we are doing. The same thing will hold good here also. So, do your job properly, understand your duties. The rights are very, very clear. You have every power to do the audit in the way you want to do. And you know why you are doing it also. That we discussed in the morning. So, I am sure you will be able to improve the quality of the cooperative audit as and when you will start doing it, or that which you are already doing it. And this is going to get our institute a good name. That chartered accountants can do better audits than the department, and the department itself voluntarily will acknowledge that and create more opportunities for us. So on that note, I complete my session 5 minutes before the scheduled time. Thank you. But we did not have a Q&A.
Sir,
Yeah.
what's the working capital here?
There is a definition. I have not noted it here. In the balance sheet, certain items are. It is not the same working capital as we look at commercially. There is a definition for it. It is given in the report also. I will share it with you. I will share it with you offline. Yes, ma'am. I'll share it. But this is nothing but a replica. It's a reproduction of 63. But anyway, I'll share it. It is not national secret. Don't worry.
So that was a wonderful session by CA Prasanna Shenoy sir. Thank you for such an interactive session on section 63, sir.